What?
I felt like I was going on a run, and you know when time goes a bit slower when you're running. It's like that. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Zodiac. Yeah.
I have to go back to watching it.
I think you kind of got the gist of it. How much have you seen of it?
I've got an hour and 40 left.
Yeah, you're fine. Basically,
Stop.
They never figure out.
Shut your mouth.
And that's it.
I know the true story. I just don't know how they do the film.
It doesn't really end. Really, we're all kind of living the ending that hasn't happened yet. It's fine. Anyway.
Have you started now?
Yeah.
Spare me a minute.
No one say fuck the Queen.
Especially not Pat.
Yeah, definitely don't do that, Pat. You're in enough trouble already.
Hey, why would I say that?
Reason.
Cool. So, are we all here, or are we waiting for Simon?
Well, I think Simon's like halfway through a celebration, isn't he?
Oh, okay, fair.
I was just taking a screenshot.
Excuse me, my last screenshot.
Video.
Pat, why did you pick these films?
Excuse me, Humphrey.
Sorry, Alex, but
excuse me.
To,
Simon's not here, so I default
a double bill like
to the anchor. No, it's okay. Go on, Humphrey. Go on.
Yes.
So, as Rob, Ben, and Alec would know, I was flip-flopping through my sort of double-header choices for quite some time.
That was poetic.
The Silence of the Lambs was a film that I wanted to find a spot for this year, but preferably like I have. But I didn't know whether I wanted to have it like as a Halloween sort of film, though I'm still unsure as to whether it was a horror film. I'm still class it as more of a thriller than anything else. So then
I haven't seen it, but I consider it to be more of a horror.
Wait your turn. So then Zodiac sort of popped in my head, and the reason why I've picked them both together is they're sort of similar-ish style films told in different ways. So like they're both centered around serial killers. One's an adaptation from a book which was written as a sort of like what would you call it? Sort of romanticizes old sort of serial killers, whereas Zodiac was based on a serial killer that the case was never solved. And as per with Alex moaning that they didn't have a proper ending, but I thought they complemented each other really well. Like, had Ben not picked 7, I probably would have gone Silence of the Lambs and 7 because I think they're probably an even better match. But I felt that these two complemented each other really well. Both directed fantastic, both acted fantastic, and like especially with Zodiac, I have a love for old sort of serial killer thriller drama things that are unsolved. So I took a lot from this, and obviously Silence of the Lambs is like one of the greatest films ever made. So they were contributing factors as to why I picked these films.
It's quite a big claim, Pat.
Yeah, it's no Back to the Future. It doesn't have a whoosh noise in it.
I mean,
it is.
It's got more of
like
a.
Well, I'll say to you this, Dan. How many Oscars did Back to the Future win?
How many Oscars did Tokyo Gore Police win?
All of
Oh,
them.
let's not bring down the chat by mentioning that shite.
Oh.
You see, I
How
don't
many-
watch the lowest film.
Let's not bring down the chat.
How many Oscars did your next win?
Stop bringing the chat down.
Sorry, Ham.
Yes. Yes.
I wasn't drinking last week, but then I watched Zodiac.
Pat, is this your first Best Picture winner?
No. My first one was Braveheart.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. You
That
could
was-
forget Braveheart.
That was
except
pick,
for
that was his
the
pick
last one.
number 2.
No, it's 3, wasn't it?
No, it was
Was it
Number
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 2.
2?
Big
My
Lebowski
number-
was number 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
you went Training Day then Braveheart.
To be fair, I had no sort of particular order when I was picking. I was just like, oh, I'd like to watch this again. Did Goodfellas win a Best Picture?
Nah, that lost to something. I can't remember what. It was quite a famous thing that it lost to, you know.
Did Pulp Fiction?
No.
Did Jaws?
No, because
hang
Silence
on.
of the Lambs was the first
There was one in between. What was that?
horror adjacent film to win a Best Picture.
What do you mean the one in between?
There was one in between.
In between
No.
what?
It might have been End of Days, actually.
End of
End of
Days
Days.
definitely didn't win one. They might have won multiple Razzies, but
I'd rather watch End of Days than Zodiac.
well, you weren't watching it and you were watching Zodiac, so get over it.
That sure showed me. Space
If you
Space
keep
Jam.
it up, I will pick some psychopathic films that you definitely won't like and you'll prefer and watch Zodiac again.
Why when you're asking about who got Oscar winners, did you skip Space Jam and Con Air?
Well, I knew they didn't win them.
Yeah, Pat Dances with Wolves won the year that Goodfellas came out. And Forrest Gump won the year that Pulp Fiction came out.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
Man, Forrest Gump won it over Pulp Fiction and The Shawshank Redemption.
Tom Hanks in it.
This is why you can't trust Oscars.
Tom Wanks. Anyway, Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it was quite. It was it's really good. It's one of my favorites. Why do you look grumpy about that, Pat?
What?
I said we both agreed it was a really good film and it was one of my favorites. And you
I was just listening. I'm not in full control of my face.
I was just
Sounds like Hannibal.
Yeah.
hey,
I mean, I probably would have been disappointed if any of you hated it, to be honest.
I mean, Emmanuel's not scored yet.
Yeah, no, we've still got the 2 wildest of cards to come.
Oh man, that's just really made me really suspenseful. I need to know what Emmanuel's going to score Silence of the Lambs.
To be fair, you're on course for our new first overall, Pat.
Well, John hasn't watched it yet, so
To be fair, Hannibal Lecter has a lot of similarities with Emmanuel because
What?
he was looking at Clarice and going like, "Who gave you those second-rate shoes?
Yeah.
Those can't be good for running around Alaska."
I'm pretty sure Emmanuel hasn't killed and eaten people.
You'd never suspect him, though, would you? He's awfully nice.
Crap is this?
You've created an awkwardness now, Alec.
Yeah.
Awkward Alec.
No, it's all right. I just soak it all in. I'm just enjoying myself.
So shall we go around the room?
Now you know how it feels. Yeah, Silence of the Lambs, really fucking good. Really like it. I'm gonna do my personal statement now. None of you can stop me.
Bah, 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 bah.
Ah! Big fan. I like how the camera is kind of a character in it. It's it's doing stuff. I thought it was really quite obviously. Rob's going to come at me for saying progressive, but I thought that was a really nice treatment of its female character. I thought it did a really good job of addressing, like making you aware of sort of certain elements of a female character in like a male-dominated environment. I think the camera's making a lot of points about it and showing Clarice kind of surrounded by a bunch of blokes in an elevator, or having every male character she has to interact with hit on her in some way, except for Jack Crawford, who uses her as like a chess piece. Like there's a lot of stuff going on with the camera that's kind of making you go, "This is what you look like," and I think that's really, I think that's a really good way of making a point without putting too much of a bow on it, which I think is an art lost to modern Hollywood stuff, trying to criticize people nowadays. I think that's really, really cool. And I really, really like that whole thing about Hannibal Lecter and he's given her all the attention in the room. He is interested in her as a person, not just because like she's, I don't know, this pretty girl who's out of place in this male-dominated kind of field. I think that's really, really, really fucking neat. Now, Rob's going to go on about transsexuals.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, so I think some of the stuff around Buffalo Bill hasn't aged the best. Just in terms of like the connotations that you can draw from it, and then also the people that. So I mean, you have the lines where they're saying like, you know, he's not representative of transsexuals and he's not a real transsexual and all of that kind of stuff. But I think it would have aged a lot better if Buffalo Bill was the one defining that, rather than somebody from the FBI and somebody with a medical background who's a straight white guy. I think that kind of, with kind of like the history of all of that stuff, it just makes it feel a bit icky to me. But outside of that, I think it's still a brilliant film. I took a point off of Impact for it because I was reading some stuff like just around how people have interpreted and stuff, and like there's some really high profile transsexual people like the Wachowskis who have said that it's a film that just doesn't sit right with them. So I took a point off of Impact for that. But outside of that, like it's amazing kind of watching it now, sort of years after it's come out, and just seeing how much it's referenced and stuff, and how many things you recognize from other stuff. Like even the Goodbye Horses scene that they do in Clerks, and like just stuff like that. Like it's a little bit, it's a weird kind of binary because it's, I mean, you're probably not surprised to hear that it's a film that really scares me, but it's also like you've got that going on as well as like, oh yeah, they did that in that. Like,
I was really thinking of the South Park episode with the TP, and then they're trying to find out who's TP in all the houses in South Park, and they got this weird like TP kid, and he's going, he's doing Hannibal Lecter, and then he escapes because he chucks toilet paper over one of the guards, and he's just like, fine. The chief comes out and goes, "Why aren't you chasing him?" And he's like, "Well, I'm covered in toilet paper." He's like, and he goes, "Well, I'd look silly."
I think I really like the setup of everything as well, where you've kind of got like two villains, but one of them is in a position where he can't do anything until he does. Because when that scene where Hannibal Lecter attacks the guards, it's like, oh man, like just I don't know, just the things that he does, and it really unsettles me. And I think it's because you've had like not 2 hours, but like maybe like 90 minutes at that point of him being just kind of like a creepy guy behind bars. He can't touch you. Because it's kind of like, it's a bit of a meta thing for me, because I don't know, when you watch a horror film, there's something in the back of your mind that's going like, all right, this is awful, but at least it's just a film and it's behind this screen. And they kind of replicate that with Hannibal Lecter. And then when he snaps and like eats a guy's face, it's just like, oh no, the screen isn't real.
Well, the thing is that the whole setup for Hannibal Lecter's sort of escape was pretty genius. Like, you sort of had him sort of interested in Clarice to help her find or catch her target, but at the same time, he's also working away at her to sort of give him the opportunity to escape. So obviously, he took the folder, the case file folder, and using that, he was able to take it apart to unlock his handcuffs.
Hmm.
I thought it was Chilton's pen he took, but
I thought it was a part that came from the case file.
I think it's the clip of the pen.
I thought it was the pen. But we can get into that later. Because I really do like that element of in trying to catch Buffalo Bill, they inadvertently let Hannibal Lecter get like his opening that he needs to escape again, and it's like that's kind of fun. We're sort of just balancing the scales a little bit.
But
Like,
also, you look at it like the prison that he was in at first was probably more secure than the one. Well, it was definitely more secure than the one that he escaped from.
Hmm.
But they obviously moved him because they didn't want Clarice or the police to question him anymore. So it's sort of it's sort of inadvertently fucked themselves up by wanting to be that awkward that they didn't want any more questioning.
right, who wants to go next with personal statements? Humphrey, you look like you're dying.
Yes. Yeah, it was pretty solid. I really like the storytelling. I like the fact that they make that like Hannibal Lecter, he's like the most dangerous person on the planet, and they do it so well without really they don't really kind of tell you. It's just the atmosphere they generate by saying, "Oh, he's done this and he's done this," and it's kind of like the suspense kind of makes you think, "Oh my god, this man is like, as I said, the most dangerous man in the world." And the fact that he's got some like superhuman strength and he's able to bite someone's face off, it's just, yeah, it's pretty mad. But yeah, I just like the premise of the film. Yeah, it didn't like the story works really well, and I really like the part when they go to open the door, or they knock on the door and he opens it and it's her. I thought that was a really, really cool bit. But yeah, there was like I had one issue with the film, and it was just the practical thing of when he's got the night vision goggles on, because she can't see him. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
We weren't all sitting in silence.
Oh no, I'm just like, I can't- you know, like that's really weird. It's like
We can
oh,
see
I
his
feel-
mouth
say something
moving.
at some
We'll-
point.
We'll just leave him to leave his mouth open.
No, because on the mic,
Nobody tell him. It's
Zoom,
fine.
it didn't actually highlight that I was talking. But well, no. What was I saying? Oh no, the night vision when she's looking for him in the dark because she can't see him, but then you can clearly see him in the dark, being top lit, and I'm like, if he was that lit, she would see him and shoot him straight away, and that was the only bit I kind of thought was a bit iffy, but that was just like a really minor thing.
The only issue like that I had, where I
Yeah.
was kind of going like, I'm not sure if that would work, was, and it's a shame because it's one of my favourite scenes. It's where he's wearing the guard's face. I was kind of like, oh, I'm not sure he would pass for the guard.
Go on, Emmanuel, you're going to say something.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, it's one of those filmic things. It's like artistic license.
Yeah, it makes sense to get the idea of she can't see, but he's stalking her. It makes sense, but like as I said, in a practical kind of real situation, if it was like light, she would have been able to shoot him straight away.
Yeah, I think it's more for our benefit than it is like what's actually happening, if that makes sense. But
Yeah, to create a kind of suspense and like yeah, yeah. That was literally the only beef I had with the film. The rest of it was just really good.
it's cool. Ben, what you got? You are muted.
You right now?
Yeah, you good.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Silence of the Lambs is one of my favorites. I mean, shouldn't go without saying. But,
I love that you packed that just in case.
Yeah.
Every single shirt. Every single shirt.
And it is just a masterclass of like suspense and horror and tension, I thought. And it's just strengths is obviously Clarice Starling as the central protagonist. It's all from her point of view, which I found quite engaging and very original, even to this day. And the fact they use Hannibal Lecter sparingly throughout the film, he has the most impact whenever he's on the screen. And the film itself, like you guys mentioned, has two villains. There's obviously Hannibal himself, and obviously two different types of psychopaths, sociopaths. And I feel that's really interesting because he's got just manic and chaotic, and the thing about him is just you can't predict what he might do next. And you have Hannibal, even though you could argue that too, he's precise and meticulous, and they both serve a different like method of their madness, so to speak. And it's just fascinating to see. You could argue that Will obviously needs mental health because it's just so on the surface, but just like a normal person at first glance. He's kind of like he gets under the people's skin to a degree, like you can sympathize with him. He gets
Did you just say he gets under people's skin to a degree? Oh, bless you.
sympathize with him, and even when you think you know him and you trust him, he just like completely turns into the most evil man you could comprehend, really. So it's one of those things where this film kind of asks the question: what is evil? How do you kind of combat it? It's one of those unanswerable questions in a sense. Clarice is she's just there to just do her job the best she can. She just wants to do good, and she confronts it and manages to pull through by sheer force of will and her training. She's such a good character because she doesn't back down, despite her still feeling fear and scared every moment. She still goes through it and faces those fears.
Lovely. I think we got. Oh, I got about like I'm gonna say like a liquid 87% of what you said, which is enough.
Oh,
I think I got most of it.
Yeah.
He is in Slough though, so
Anything more, so.
You doing slang?
oh, fair enough. That's good points. Well, Emmanuel, how you doing? You still
watching Zodiac on with subtitles. But in terms of thoughts to the lambs, yeah, good film. I wasn't in the mood to watch any films like this. That's
Common theme.
huh?
I said that's a common theme.
But yeah, it was a good film. I think in the past I actually might have seen parts of the film because I don't really remember it. But then there was parts that I saw and I was just like, have I seen this before? And it was just like, and I don't know if it was just really obvious or if it was because I saw it before, or saw parts of it. Was when they're like, oh, it's Pemberley, he's barely alive, and then they put the camera to his face and was like, that ain't Pemberley. Like, oh, it's like level in Hitman or some other thing. I swear there's something else like much later that references that does something similar. Be the patient, so they take you out, but then they obviously don't realize, oh crap, but it's too late by then. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was a good film. Um, yeah, done very well. Anthony Hopkins plays a very creepy guy. I wonder if did he improvise I can't remember the Chianti bit and it's like sound effect.
Don't know, to be honest. I've not heard that.
Now I don't remember that, but now you mention it, I'm kind of like, oh, is that an actual thing?
Because I think I read this time ago, so I don't know. Someone had to fact check this, please. I think either it wasn't like what was originally meant to be said in one of whatever film, because I haven't seen Hannibal, so I don't know. Does he say it in that? Okay, because I think
He only does that in Hannibal. Silence of the Lambs.
influenced the script or if he actually improvised it. But whatever case, even if it's not that, it's like, yeah, dude, you creepy. I not want to be questioning you.
Just he does that thing that I do where you keep eye contact a little bit too long.
Just reading. So apparently there was two things that were improvised. So apparently so the first meeting between them when he like mocks her accent, apparently that was improvised. And apparently her reaction to that was genuine because she was like, "What's this?" And then the other thing that was improvised was that apparently he was like walking around set doing it, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's really creepy. You should do it." And then he did it, and apparently the director got really annoyed and then denied he was annoyed.
Oh, so the director's John.
His name is Jonathan, to be fair.
Hey!
Oh, that's great. Yeah, otherwise, that was good. I thought I liked, but also was kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen? Like, obviously, when she finds the real place and they stumble on some fake place. I can't even remember how they even got the address they did. I was thinking, huh? But okay. I don't know if you're going to the right place, but right. But yeah, it's a good film, and I think I kind of liked how he said, "Oh, I'm having a old friend for dinner."
Oh man, that creeps me out so
That's
much.
fucking
I love that line.
That's fucking great.
Then first I was just like, "Oh, he's meeting an old colleague," and then I get off like, "No, he's having an old friend for dinner, not over for dinner." I just like I replayed the line in my head. I was just like, "Oh."
I enjoy you heard that the first time and went, oh, that's nice. And went, oh no, that's Hannibal Lecter.
It's just that lingering shot of her like getting off the plane, and I'm like, no.
Meeting an old colleague to do some to maybe get involved in some messed up stuff. Oh no, he's
Hey.
gonna eat that guy.
That would have been a great line. Just I'm meeting an old colleague to do some messed up stuff.
Oh no, I said the quiet part loud and the loud part quiet.
Thing is, it's quite conflicting because you want the bloke's an arsehole, so he kind of deserves it. But then he's eating people ain't good.
I think that's the thing. It's like Dr. Chilton is by far like the. I when we come out of this film, I'm like, man, yeah, there's Hannibal Lecter in this film. There's Buffalo Bill in this film. I fucking hate Dr. Chilton. Dr. Chilton needs to fucking die, and he will. And that's nice.
What a
he's
claim,
hideous.
though, man! Like you're in a film with, well, two people who do some pretty horrible things, and just the strength of his dialogue has got you on that side of him.
I've seen a man eat a face, and I've seen a man kidnap a lady and hold her hostage in a well for 3 days. But that guy was creepy to Jodie Foster. He needs to fucking go. There's something wrong with him.
Oh, do you know another scene that really, really, really creeps me out is the close up of the nipple ring. Like it's just.
And I was watching this film in a lot of public places. I was not. I was. Oh my goodness!
You're telling me the bit where he sticks his knob between his legs is not.
I like that there was hesitation for like getting the right word, and you came up with knob.
We've all done it. It's very funny, isn't it?
Gentles.
But what was it say? The Dr. Chilton is very creepy. I thought he did deserve to be beaten up, not killed. But he's a creepy guy who's also around creepy people all day long. I mean, I don't know.
I think as well, like he's got those things where because there were bits where I was just like, you cunt. Because he's like walking Jodie Foster around, and he's like, oh yes, Hannibal thinks I'm his nemesis, you know, and I'm like, no, he doesn't. Fucking shut up.
Whoever wronged that made me shit
Sorry.
myself.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
But then
I
like
nearly fell out of my chair.
they go down a couple of flights of steps, and then she's like, maybe if he thinks you're his nemesis, maybe you shouldn't be escorting me. And he goes, well, you could have said that before I walked all this way. And I was like, you said this mid fucking journey, idiot. But it was like, yeah, he's an asshole. Like, yeah, I was really looking for stuff for this one, and I was just like, come on, give me some kind of contrivance, convenience. Let's do it. But like, there's not really. There's one. I found one, but yeah, I was really questioning like, why did he say that? And the answer was he's a dickhead. And I was like, yeah, that follows. It's Dr. Chilton. Also, I will take this opportunity to say the Hannibal series is really, really good if you ignore the ending.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought it was
I
going to
agree.
go the opposite way.
No, Mads Mikkelsen, he's a fucking excellent Hannibal Lecter. There's probably like 2 shitty episodes in it. One of them's the ending, but yeah, I really like that show. It's really
But-
cool.
How many shows struggle to finish properly? Like, there's been very few that have had a satisfying ending. But I think that's one occasion that both me and Ben strongly agree with you. Like, the TV series is ace.
Supernatural ends very well. Just saying.
Anyway,
Also,
Dr. Chill.
Hannibal is worth watching. The other films are not.
oh, I quite liked the one with Gary Oldman in it. I thought that was quite cool.
What one was that?
I believe it's called Hannibal.
Yeah, I said Hannibal. I said
thought you meant-
Hannibal was worth watching. The rest weren't.
I thought you meant the TV show, which is called Hannibal. Also,
No. The movie Hannibal with Julianne Moore in it.
Yeah,
oh, the one with Gary Oldman in it. Yeah.
I
But
really like Red Dragon too. But
I hated Red Dragon,
Yeah, I wasn't
And-
doing my joke.
and Hannibal Rising was a big pile of turd.
Interestingly,
I
the season of Hannibal that's really, really bad is the Red Dragon one. So maybe that's just a bad story. I don't know. But anyway,
Wasn't Red Dragon directed by Ridley Scott as well?
Yeah.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Hannibal was directed by.
Oh, Hannibal was. Oh, it wasn't
yeah.
Red Dragon.
Oh, sorry.
I'll tell you now.
Yeah, wash your mouth out.
Uh,
No, fuck Ridley Scott.
Red Crackhead.
Oh, it was
I've got to
Brett
say-
Ratner. He did Red Dragon.
Ah, there you go. Case closed.
I was going to say Hannibal's got quite a infamous scene in it, which is quite something.
Never trust anyone called Brett.
Do you know anyone called Brett?
Yeah, actually, I do.
He doesn't trust him.
Yeah, he's not a trustworthy fella, I'll tell you. Fucking idiot. Anyway, Silence of the Lambs. It's really fucking good. I don't know. There's
It's hard to talk about Silence of the Lambs because it's just like it's one of those films that like literally everyone agrees is a masterpiece. So it's sort of what more can you add to it?
what's really nice actually. The opening apparently, the opening was meant to be Jodie Foster and someone else doing like an FBI raid, and then she actually went to the scriptwriter and went, "This has been done to fucking death. Maybe we should change it." And then they did the training course little segment, and I thought that was really neat because it's just like you just sort of think she's just someone doing a training course, and you don't even know necessarily what it's for until someone comes in and goes, "Oh yeah, Jack Crawford needs to see you in his office," and then it turns and he's got the hat with the FBI on it, and it's like, "Oh okay," and it's just like there's just this little. I don't know, it's just like a more kind of novel way of doing it. Rather than we're doing like a SWAT team thing. Oh no, it's not actually a real.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of the beats in it are just perfect, man. Because like the bit where she's going through the sort of, I don't know what you call it really, it's sort of like the rogues gallery kind of thing, you know. Well, yeah, I don't know what the proper name for it is, but where she's walking down that, it's just like it's so perfect. It's just at the bit where you're like, man, that must be really tough for a woman. It's like,
Oh no.
But I love that Hannibal draws issue with it, and he's like, "Oh god, that's terrible. I'm gonna whisper to that guy until he kills himself." Like, yeah.
I've got no problem with eating a face, but I draw the line at that.
You don't do that to a woman.
You don't throw semen in someone's hair. It's not good. I thought that was such an interesting little facet of his character, and I think that's something that comes out in the Hannibal show as well. Like he's very much about like being proper and stuff like that, and yeah, I really like that shit. That's I think that's a nice little dimension to his character.
It's really good characterization. It's just that classic kind of like psychopath thing, isn't it? Where he sort of holds himself to these really high sort of social standards, but then he's also not afraid of like eating an OAP's liver.
Even stuff when Jodie Foster tells him her like backstory about the lambs and all that, and the next time we come back to his cell, he has drawn a picture of her as a patron saint with like holding a lamb, and it's like, I'm kind of making fun of you, but I'm also quite respectful of the fact you did that. And it's like there's just that little bit of a, are you taking the piss out of me? And it's like, yeah, but I also kind of respect it. Like there's just this little balance there, and I think that's really sweet of Hannibal Lecter. But yeah, I just I think he's a fucking excellent character.
Like I can't bring any fault to Hannibal Lecter or Clarice in any form in that film. And
I have one thing, and I'm not even completely sure it's a flaw, to be honest. How he secures Dr. Chilton's pen. Because you think it comes out of the folder. I think it's the pen, because they make a thing of Dr. Chilton going to grab his pen out of his inside pocket and he can't find it. And I'm like, oh, that's because Hannibal took his pen. And then I'm like, how the fuck did he get that? He was in a straitjacket. Is he a magician? Is he a sorcerer of some sort? What the fuck? How did he do that? But rewatching it, I realize he says when he's in like the little thing, Dr. Chilton puts his pen down and him and Barney exchange a look, and he goes, Barney. And Barney goes, mm-hmm. And then he goes off camera and they have a little bit of an exchange. But I think it's implied that Barney takes the pen and gives it to him. So
yeah.
It's just a little bit, it's just a teeny tiny little bit of dialogue that maybe possibly saves it. I think they could have possibly added a little bit, but that's just for
Maybe that's just something that sort of put there to make the audience think, right, how did he get hold of the pen if it's the pen, and how did he get what he got? Like,
yeah.
If he got it out of the case file, then how did he keep hold of it that long while he was in a straitjacket?
I don't think Clarice would have given him purposely given him something with a paperclip in it or some shit. I think it is Dr. Chilton's pen. And like, I don't even necessarily think it needs to be clarified that Barney helped him. I think like it's like a nice little thing there that you can kind of infer.
The thing is, if he can make someone kill themselves by swallowing their own tongue, he can convince someone to do anything for him. And if Barney's just literally an orderly that just goes along with things, he probably could have told him, like, he got into Clarice's mind, so he probably would have done it with everyone.
I think he's around him every day, and I think there's like a really little hint where the lights go on in Lecter's cell, and that's how Clarice knows his drawings have been taken down, and he goes, "Thank you, Barney." And it's like, so they clearly have a bit of a repartee is the word I'm looking for, not repertoire. But they clearly have a bit of an exchange with each other. So like, yeah, I think, yeah, I'm not sure if I should raise it a bit.
I think it's the same thing as the night vision goggles. It's kind of it's left there for your kind of interpretation. Yeah, it is quite hard trying to critique a film that is pretty flawless.
Well, apparently, like the FBI had a because they ran it through the FBI to just see if it was too ludicrous or anything, and the only bit they came up with was, it's weird. This is like it's insane that Clarice as a trainee would get sent to investigate. Oh, look at Emmanuel watching Zodiac. He looks heartbroken. It said it'd be ludicrous that the Starling would be sent to go and investigate like a case that's so dangerous. And I was kind of like, I get that, but Jack Crawford did just go and tell her to go and gather information. So he has absolutely no reason to think that Buffalo Bill is still in that area. So I don't think he thought there was any risk in that. So I don't want to call out the FBI here, but like, I don't think their criticism of Silence of the Lambs was completely correct. But I'll.
Oh, did they criticize?
Yeah, they said Starling being sent to go and investigate on her own in such a dangerous case, like, wouldn't have happened. But I was thinking with Jack. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. That is a valid point. She would have had someone with her. Like, usually if you're in a dangerous case, you're not going to be going by yourself, regardless of whether you're experienced. Like, you have someone else as well. It's not a routine thing.
But didn't they sort of allude to it before they sent her that they basically couldn't get a thing out of him? So they were going to try something out of the box by sending her in on her own, someone that's completely green that may get him to talk.
Oh no! Sorry, this is near the end when they're gonna go and arrest Jamie Gum.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the beginning bit. My
Yeah, and
bad.
No.
Continue.
Well, that's the thing. I think Jack Crawford thinks he's about to go and arrest the guy. So he's like, "Can you just go and find more information?" And she's like, "Yeah."
We were convinced that it was that they're the house, wasn't he? Jack Crawford was leading the party to the house that
Yeah.
they assumed was the right place.
yeah, but yeah, I get that. Yeah, especially since this was training, she definitely would have had a more experienced more experienced agent, just at least with her.
Yeah.
And if she was then going, okay, I'm gonna go inside, he would have then come in with like he or she would have gone in with her just to be like, okay, let's check it out. So yeah, in terms of the film, it makes sense. But yeah, in real life, yeah, they wouldn't. This even shows like
They'd assign someone to her. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, because I think I remember something in Blacklist, like where this other TV show where they talk about something like that. It's like, no, you can't just go by yourself. It's like I'm just doing a few questions. It doesn't matter.
I retract my criticism of the FBI. Fair enough. What
I
an arc!
wouldn't.
What an arc we've gone on to. Well, we know your stances. That's okay. Yeah, I might. Well, actually, if she would have had an escort, then that drastically changes the the ending
I
and the
don't think
situation she'd be in. So
it wouldn't be such a tense exchange.
well, she'd have help. She'd have someone with her. So yeah, okay, fair enough.
And I just love the fact that when she opens the door and you know that he's the bad guy that she's looking for, she doesn't quite realize it yet. And you're like, oh no. And it's like it goes on and it goes on, and then she slowly realizes, and she could have shot him in that one scene where he kind of puts his hands up, and I was like, oh, you could have fucking shot him. But then he fucking runs off, and then you have this whole chase sequence where he's not actually there for most of it, which is quite tense as well. Yeah, he's like a ghost. Well, he is, because he goes through all the rooms and she can't find him, and then she literally turns off the power and he's there.
He's like a ghost to turn off the fan and you can't find him. Sorry.
I was just confused, but when she started shooting at him, the power came back on. I was like, wait, how did the power go off not by his doing then? Did something just trip and then come back on by itself?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he did that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he did it on purpose.
So did he purpose then as well? Or
no, I think what it is basically when she shoots him, she destroys the stuff that's blocking out the basement. Because there's a lot of stuff that's kind of blocking out the windows. And when she shoots him, it all falls off and then it all becomes miraculously bright.
oh, that lighting, I felt like they didn't convey that.
Yeah.
So confused.
Oh no, I think they show a shot of her shooting something covering the window.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was a blind in front of the blackout blind on the window.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just that the lighting afterwards, maybe I remembered it wrong, but the lighting afterwards felt very similar to the lighting before, which was artificial. it didn't feel
Mm.
like it was coming. It felt like the lighting from before the lights were off. It didn't feel like it was coming from a direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
an interesting point, actually.
So that's why I was confused. I was just like, wait, what just happened? Did I miss something?
I think it's just one of them things where they need you to see what's happening. So they're not going to just have it dimly lit where you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I would have
Mm.
preferred less light on.
But that
Cool.
could be intenser. Imagine you have mostly flashes, dimly lit. You just see them both go down. You don't know who's alive, who's dead.
Oh,
Or
I
like
don't know about more tent.
20
Are,
seconds.
are you going against like the night vision goggle thing, or
No.
Mm.
I'm
Okay.
saying if they made it like more realistically dimly lit, if it was
Mm.
just shot something off with flashes of light,
Mm.
it been more like it could have been made just a bit more tension because them both going down, you wouldn't have known as quickly who survived. I mean, they still made it tense, but it could have been even more.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. I think it's I don't know if I'd call it jarring, but it is a little bit sort of
Breaks your
like
immersion.
yeah, like I'm not sure I would really I didn't really think about it too much at the time, but in hindsight I'm not sure I really saw where the light was coming.
Hmm.
Because I don't know, it kind of to me it kind of presented as if like a curtain had just fallen down or something. Like
Yeah.
it's
It
I did-
literally did.
I did have a couple of immersion breaks in the action scenes, and like I don't know, they're kind of small, but it's sort of like Jodie Foster going, all right, yeah, she's going, and I was like, that's you're not firing a gun. you're firing
She's
a
now
water
Woody
pistol.
Woodpecker.
Yeah, but she's going. It's not recoiling. It's going, and I'm just. But even Anthony Hopkins and stuff when he's using the baton, he's clearly not hitting anything. He's just swinging it, and it's like you. I don't know. I don't know if it's anything like anyone's gonna notice but me, but like it. Yeah, there's no impact coming off of where you're apparently hitting this guy. You're just doing that. And it's dead fucking small, but yeah, it just broke my immersion a little bit. It's like I get what's happening in the scene. What's happening in the scene is still being conveyed to me, but you're not actually hitting someone, and I'm really, really aware of that. But like, these are really, really small flaws in a really, really solid whole. Like, so that's why I took like half a point off for acting, just action sort of stuff. But
I mean, to be honest, knowing that like, I'm not taking anything away from the acting, but knowing that some of it was sort of improvised and some of those reactions were legitimate, like it makes so much more sense. Because it's like I don't know, just those little moments between between the two main characters, I suppose. Like there's just so many bits where you're just like it almost feels like a documentary.
one that has a resolution, crucially.
But missed your point, Alex. The acting, the thing you lowered half a point for the acting. Which scene?
Oh, just actors using weapons. They don't. Jodie Foster doesn't use a gun like it is having recoil. She just kind of goes wee.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins isn't using a baton like he's actually hitting something with it. He's just swinging it. He's clearly not hitting a thing.
He's just doing that. And it's like he's like slapping something.
He's just, and it's like it's something only I give a fuck about. But
Yes,
like,
that's not really acting though. That's a fault on the director because the directing. No, let me just say, unless someone's handled a real gun, like, went to gun practice, they're not going to know how to do it properly, and it's the director's job to get someone to help them be more convincing with their thing. The thing with the baton, I think that was purely for the filmic kind of camera angle and look. He probably was just like, "Oh, I want you to do it like this," and I'm sure Anthony Hopkins is like, "This just looks silly." He's just like, "No, but do it. It look good on camera." It's like, whatever. Okay.
oh, for sure. But also,
I know what you're saying.
I've never fired a real gun. I know there's got recoil. I've
It's
hit,
kind of like when
I've hit a tree with a stick before. I know there's impact when you hit a thing. Like, sorry, Ben.
yeah, true. But I was going to say it's kind of like how people do fight scenes, physical hand-to-hand combat. You never punch a real actor when you're fighting. You're doing fake fighting in films. So
No,
you
but
have to like be trained to do it right, do it to look good, and to actually not hurt the person you're pretending to hit.
yeah, but you got to
Which is what they
simulate
do
it
here.
so it looks real.
Exactly. So it's not really the actor's fault. It's them being trained by the director and the stunt coordinator.
Exactly.
It's mainly that. I don't think it's Jodie's fault.
No, it's all Jodie's. I'm exposing Jodie Foster for not knowing how. That's okay. Wherever you want to drop your scores, that's an issue there. Anyway, I was going to move on to something different, but I've lost
I'm gonna
it.
say something.
Yeah, okay.
Feel it in my finger. I feel it in my body.
Gonna
Anyway,
get taken down for that.
Using licensed music.
Although you did use less than 5 seconds of footage, so I think we're fine.
what?
Wait, are you done with Zodiac?
Oh no, I'm on an hour and 4 minutes.
Oh god, there's 7 hours left.
I thought you were still watching it.
Yeah, I am still watching it.
Yeah, there's an hour and 4 minutes left.
I thought there was an hour and 4 minutes when we started.
That was an hour and 40.
Oh
No,
my!
I'm
fucking-
an hour and 4 minutes into it.
Oh, into it. And
Yeah,
you've still got an hour and 40 left.
yeah, yeah. I just got the
Ah!
subtitles on.
Man, that is yeah. Do you know it's not even like a long film in terms of time. It's just it plods.
I mean, it's not Boa versus Thingy. There's worse things I could be watching.
It's not Boa versus Constrictor. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. I think it's a really good film, but it's like I don't want to watch it again anytime soon.
Probably one of those films that you have to be in the right mood for.
I don't know
yeah.
if I'm ever in the right mood for that one, but yeah, we can
Yeah.
move past that
I
one.
think that's why in the past I watched a documentary on the true story, but not the movie. Because I didn't want to see the movie like dramatized. I just went to have the facts and then go, okay, I know the story now, and then move on.
That's what I like about Silence of the Lambs. It's completely fictional. It's got Hannibal Lecter in it, and he's really cool.
It's not completely fictional.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I was
inspired.
going
What's it
to ask you
inspired
about that,
by?
Pat, because I don't know anything about this Mexican guy.
So the person who wrote the book, basically, he was from New York and he had read or seen some things about certain serial killers and decided he wanted to write a book that sort of included at the time a well-known serial killer who would take parts of skin off other women to make a female suit. So
Yeah,
that
cool.
serial, well, both actual main sort of bad guys in the film are based off of real people. That's why I think the sort of criticism that it's getting from the trans community is a little bit unfair, because it's depicting like actual people.
But the
and-
problem is like the problem is more that it's who defines him as not being a real trans person. That's the issue, rather than just a depiction of him.
maybe, but it's from what I've read, it's the sort of just I've seen things that where people are just slating it for including that in the film, which I thought was a bit.
And really, I think it's more of a I'd argue it's more of a team effort, because with the with Silence of the Lambs doing this, more people went, hey, that's not a good representation of trans people, and that led to more people depicting trans people in films more progressively. So really, without this film, you wouldn't have the
The precarious.
And the person
the bridge
who
got too precarious there. I'm sorry, I had to just jump ship there. But
the person who Hannibal Lecter was spawned from, his real name is Alfredo Bali Tavino, who is a cannibal serial killer from Mexico. He's a gay doctor as well, apparently.
Hey,
I've phrased this so badly. I've butchered the whole thing.
that
So-
could mean two completely different things. to
so
the
he's
same
a
time.
he's a GMD.
So I'm just going to read what's in front of me rather than trying to split it up and make it sound
Hey,
stupid.
doctor.
The man who provided the inspiration for Hannibal Lecter, the cannibal serial killer from Silence of the Lambs, was a gay Mexican doctor who ended his days treating the poor and desperately trying to forget his dark past. His name was Alfredo Bali Tavino.
Wait,
That's
so,
basically-
oh,
That's basically who was the inspiration for Hannibal Lecter.
that's actually a really interesting story. I mean, I'm not saying that Silence of the Lambs missed anything, but I'd like to see something about a former cannibal trying to get his redemption. That sounds really fascinating.
You may do one day. Maybe you'll become a big screenwriter in Hollywood for one day.
It'll be like
Oh, right.
Rocky. They'll be like, eat this entire buffet of non-human food, or and he's got to just go through the 30 rounds of just pig ribs, and he's like, oh fucking hell. Okay, right.
I think they also the Silence of the Lambs were actually a name of like I think some kind of serial killings or something at one point.
I think it was used as a symbol for the serial killing.
Yeah. Nowhere near as I guess refined. But inspiration. Yeah, again.
Yeah. Oh, Manu's gone.
How you doing there, Humphrey? Do you want to have a bit of commentary?
Yeah.
Oh.
A gay Mexican doctor.
Cool. Well, it was nice to hear from you.
Yeah.
We've all been
Um,
there.
I really
Um,
like if we're gonna do favorite scenes for this one. I really do like that bit where they're talking about where Hannibal's trying to needle Starling, and he's going like, "Oh, do you think Jack Crawford fancies you? Do you think he creates scenarios in his head? Do you think he does this? Do you think he does that? Do you think he fantasizes about fucking you?" And then, all right.
No, that scene is fantastic.
And then Starling goes like, "I'm gonna piss him off now," and she goes, "Dunno, Doctor. It just sounds like something Miggs would say, you know." And he's like, "Not anymore." And I was like, I love it. Jodie thinks she's about to get one over on him. He's just like, not anymore. Whoosh, kablam. I think that's a fucking impeccable scene. I love that.
That's a good choice.
Thank you. Go on then, you have one.
Sorry, just random. I just realized Chloe.
Savigny.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, she's an American Psycho.
Yeah.
I was just pointed out. I was just like, yeah, I recognize her. I don't know what from. It's like, oh,
If Ben hadn't done his double bill, that'd be the fastest we've ever had a recurring actor.
yeah.
Oh, she the blonde lady.
Yes, the blonde lady.
I
Yeah.
thought I recognised her.
She's got a thing for a certain kind of bloke.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. Or Christian Bale.
Hmm.
Favorite scenes. Let's go.
Rob,
It was the bit where he tucked his dick and balls between his legs, wasn't it? You loved that shit, didn't you?
Well, that's one of those scenes where it's like, oh shit, that's been parodied in everything. That's like, I don't know. I'd be tempted. I know I said that there was an issue with it, but I'd be tempted to say the scene where he's wearing the guard's face, just because like that. I don't know, man. It just really unsettles me. And it's just a really like perfect horror moment where I don't know, it's just horrible because it's like I was saying earlier, because you got that thing where you've kind of got the safety of him being behind a screen of sorts, and although he's this really creepy, horrible thing, at least he's behind bars and he's not going to interfere with anything. And then he does, and then you see the result of what he's interfered with in the back of this ambulance. But then it's him anyway, and it's just like, oh man, in terms of horror moments, that's probably one of my favorites.
Well,
And
I haven't
yeah.
seen this, but I think it's more of a thriller moment.
Oh,
No, legitimately fucking clever. Way to even like. I enjoy that you appreciate this as a horror moment, and I'm like, that's also a legitimately fucking clever way of getting out of the building. Like, just mechanically, that's really fucking cool. Love that. Like, go on, Humphrey, take it away.
I think I mentioned it before. It's the bit when she opens the door and she meets Buffalo Bill, because it's set up so well, because she doesn't know who he is. Well, and you know everything and they don't, and it's just like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen? And then it just slowly unravels, and then he kind of, yeah, it's just so well done. There's so much tension in the room, and like you see the clues, like the butterfly on the wall.
It's a moth.
No, it's a butterfly in the
No,
house.
it's a moth.
It's a picture of a butterfly.
Picture of
I was just reminding myself of the emaciated course. Yeah, emaciated course. Cool. Oh, I can't even talk. The corpse in the bath, and it's like, oh, emaciated. Yeah, but that whole bit where that literally from when she opens the door until she shoots him, it's just great. Just so much tension is built just because you know everything that's going to happen, and they don't.
I do get frustrated when they go, what was in the victim's throat? Was it like a butterfly? And Jodie Foster goes, yeah, it was a moth. And I'm like, so no. The answer was no. They're a different fucking animal. I gotta say though, I really did enjoy that bit when she goes to the insect experts and he's got like a funny eye. she's like, like he's hitting on her, and she's going like, "Are you hitting on me?" And he's like, "Yeah."
He doesn't even deny it.
Well, it's just like she's been contending with this from like so many different people, and he just gives it a shot, and she's like, "Oh, go on."
Yeah, but
Little
it
cutie.
sounds like she actually knows them for a while. So she's probably used to it.
Oh yeah, she's definitely like this is one of the things I appreciate about that character is like she's not on this like one woman crusade to end people flirting with her. Like she's aware it's gonna happen. Like it's not cool that it happens with every fucking person, but like there's not anything like necessarily wrong with people flirting with you, but like yeah,
Going too far.
I think that's the bit where like the camera being a character comes into it, because it's going like, this is what you look like when you do this. If you're fine with that, whatever, but this is what you look like. You look a creepy fucking dickhead when you do it. And it's like, yeah, here's Jodie Foster going through, I keep calling her Jodie Foster. Here's Clarice Starling going through her life trying to be an FBI agent, and she's just surrounded by all these people who keep fucking looking at her or just leer at her or are asking her out and doing all this shit. And it's like it's lampshading it and going like, hey, this makes you look fucking off-putting, but the character herself has other shit to do. She doesn't have this thing where she's like, I've got to end mansplaining. Like she's a normal fucking person trying to be an FBI agent, and she ain't got time to stop like every heterosexual person with a libido in the world from being fucking creepy. But like, you know, sorry, I'm probably getting a bit hyperbolic. You know me.
Hyperelic.
Oh, that was like when Simon said Miga Nana Quasta. Like it was just so close, but just a little bit wrong. You get what I mean?
No.
Oh. I feel there's something that also this is something that I just kind of want to say about Jodie Foster's performance in this as Clarice Starling. I think that her character is really, really fucking good. I don't think we get enough characters nowadays where you just have someone who just wants to do good and who just thinks they're a good person and acts on it. You need to have people like, I don't know, there just seems to be this weird mandate now where you have to have people just be like a fucking cunt now and then, and she's just not. And she's just trying to be an FBI agent, and she's just going about this. And it's like, this is really, really nice. This is really refreshing that she's got a goal in mind and she's going to go and support it. And like you have things like Jack Crawford using her as like a chess piece. And he's like, I hope you weren't mad about that. And she's like, yeah, but police officers look to you to see how to act. And it matters how you present me. And it's like,
that is actually a really, really nice moment, because it's not just well, it's not just like him being put in his place. It's her actually being able to kind of, I don't know, make him realize the difference between their two statuses. Yeah, that's a really, really nice moment.
and it's something that Jack Crawford's not necessarily done on purpose, but he has done it, and he's known enough to go, I hope that didn't upset you, but it was but he knew something was a bit wrong with it because he wouldn't have commented on it otherwise. And she went, oh, actually, yeah, this is a problem. But like I said, she's not she's not like gone on this big crusade. She's still doing her job. She still wants to do her job. She hasn't got time to correct all the wrongs in the world. The camera's doing that, but Yeah, I just find her character really refreshing. She feels like a very normal person, and I feel like the fact that she is a very normal person emphasizes Hannibal so much more. Because I feel like if it was just Anthony Hopkins doing this, you'd go, "What the fuck is this film? Like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, this doesn't." And it's like he's doing a really good performance, but I think it is accentuated by the fact that Jodie Foster's doing such a good performance of a real person, which is what I mean about her being like kind of an unsung hero here. Like, I think she's doing a lot of work to make you like to put you in the scene, and that's what's making Hannibal be so free to be so creepy. But I've talked a lot now, so who hasn't done their favorite scene yet?
Hey,
Simon's in it.
Ah,
Well,
Simon!
Hello.
Clarice.
the legend.
How are you?
Do the thing.
Come on.
Well, no, yeah, because like I mean, if we're talking, are we still doing Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still time for fun.
Yeah, it was killer time. Okay, I'll stop now. Okay, in any case,
the game.
but in any case, let's say because I came in late, obviously. This Silence of the Lambs is good because it has like that weird. It's such a certain levels of eeriness of the film, and it really builds up with the people who are in this film. Obviously, with Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster and everyone else in it.
I think it's Ericity.
Well, I mean, like to be honest, like when you first see Hannibal, well, Anthony Hopkins just like when the camera pans into it and you see him, he's already staring at the camera, and he's standing there, just like expecting that, knowing that the camera was coming. It's just like, hello there. Oh no, he doesn't say Clarice because he doesn't know. He's just like, oh hello there. So proper and gentlemanly with a certain level of elegance. It's very creepy, but you realize, wow, it's such a creepy motherfucker when it just really breaks down into it. It's so good. It's so good. That like beginning, like the scene where you first get introduced to Hannibal the Cannibal is probably the best scene because of all his fava beans and Chiantis, which I found out is actually something he shouldn't be eating because he's eating he ate someone's liver with some beans and wine, right? I found out you can't have like antidepressant meds or any of that sort of meds that you eat in like a psychotic hospital because that would kill you because of the toxins in kidneys, livers, beans, and alcohol. So he shouldn't be eating that anyway. So I
Wow.
was like, weird.
That is a perfect storm.
All right.
I'm just
So-
annoyed no one's noticed my nickname yet.
Hannibal.
Oh, I noticed it, and then
Oh, thank you.
I got a
noticed
bit
it,
confused
and then,
trying to
yeah.
pronounce it.
Yeah, sorry, Simon. You said they're not meant to eat the liver and because of all the toxins and stuff.
Because there's something in, I can't remember the exact like medical name for the medicines that he should be eating in a psychiatric hospital, but essentially they're like a mix of like antidepressants and a lot of other stuff, right? But if you were to eat it with those things which have like natural toxins in them, it'll become like poisonous, and it'll just essentially he'll be killing himself. But
Yeah.
obviously, because the psychiatric hospital knows that, they can't purposely feed him poison. So it's like, oh damn, he's ate those things, and we can't give him his medicine because he's ate those things. So he just keeps being weird because as a doctor, he would know about it, and it's like, there's many layers to you, Dr. Lecter.
There's many layers to you, Dr. Lex. Oh shit, I just realized I fucked up my name.
I need.
Oh. So, wait, how long did you guys start on time?
We've been going for an
Relatively.
hour and a half.
Okay, cool. So let's see.
Give us your
This-
personal statement and favorite scene.
Favorite scene is definitely
No,
The
I
first-
said it in a specific order, you bastard.
well, I'm not gonna follow that order.
Oh shit!
Simon.
Oh, but in essence, first particular like introduction of Hannibal Lecter was very good. Like you see, like you have a certain inkling that you know he's a crazy person because he's in that asylum asylum, but he seems kind of normal at first when you first see him, and it's like what could possibly be wrong. And afterwards, he starts breaking down Clarice and all her characteristics, and just lays her open, and it's like, damn, that was harsh. And he only spoke to her about 5 minutes. So yeah, that's a great. Yeah, that's like, especially where he does that stubborn drawl, you know, where he was, you know, she's from like West Virginia, right? And so it's just like, wow, he caught that up instantly, and he's just like making and then like insulted her, and he's just like 5 minutes. Took him 5 minutes just for her to have like a fucking panic attack. I was like, oh damn, that's terrifying. But it makes a great character.
Hmm.
And as an ending statement for this, I feel like the movie for itself was great because it was. I remember it was based off a book as well, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I haven't actually read the book, so I don't know all the details. But I just remember, like, I would have to say that the book and like movie as detailed and like horrifying as the book could be with all the details of it, it can never be portrayed as well without such great actors. Because with Anthony Hopkins, we know that his wife divorce him because of Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
really?
Yeah, I think it was like something like his wife or someone. I can't remember. It was either his girlfriend broke up with him or his wife divorced him because like they were together. But then he filmed Silence of the Lambs, and he's like, I have a house that we go to in the middle of like near the lake, and it's very secluded. Like every time I see him, I feel like he's gonna murder me, and I'm so
Oh, wow.
scared for my life. I can't do it. And it was like, who was it? I remember I've got my phone on charge, but I remember I got my notes. It was
Imagine doing this, being like, I've just turned in the performance of a lifetime. Now I'm gonna spend the weekend in my secluded log cabin with my girlfriend, and she's like, "Nah, fuck this. You did that in your sleep. I can't."
oh, I guess I mean I wasn't sure, but like if I've written my notes, it must be right because like I copied it probably. It's Martha Stewart. Like yeah, you know the lady that got arrested for who does the cooking show and got
Oh, it's actually the
arrested
same
for
person.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, oh wow. But my point is that as much as the book could have like explained all the details about everything and all the characters and stuff and like how horrifying it is, it really took these actors to actually properly portray it. Even if some of it was like improv, like the actual tongue hissing scene, and it's like, oh, that was improvised. But it's so iconic. You can't think of Silence of the Lambs and not think of that scene, can you? It's synonymous with each other. And I feel like that's what makes it better than any of the books because you've not just like reached to where the book was with the creepiness and the story, you've elevated it, and that makes it, and because you elevated it, it makes it much better in any case. Yes. No? Okay.
No, I'm nodding, man. I'm with you.
Oh, cool.
You said a lot of things that were good.
Oh, there's one thing, right? When Jodie Foster's character, I can't remember what's her first name. It's surname
Clarice, for fuck's
Clarice.
sake!
Oh yeah, Clarice.
For real?
Yeah, well, no, when she was with what's her
Hey.
boss's name? Crawford, right? Something
Jack
Crawford.
Crawford.
Jack Crawford. they were doing the autopsy of the body. They put some white powder on their nose, and I'm thinking, why would they be taking cocaine? I just like, I just looked at it. I was like, what? It's like, yeah.
When I'm doing pathology, I really need a bit of a buzz.
Yeah, because I just need a quick kick so I can get through this fucking autopsy, right? It's like,
That's what you thought at first.
yeah, because I saw it and I was like, why do they have? I was like, I'm pretty sure it's like some like antibacterial, right? But all I can think is like she gave herself like a white Hitler massage of cocaine, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? I was like, all right, no, because of like they don't want any of the toxic gases from like because of the body, and yeah, okay, it makes sense. But it's like first, like rewatching it, I was like, weird.
You're not even just toxic gases. The smell of death is apparently absolutely horrendous and something you never get used to. Like no matter how many times you've experienced it, unless your sense of smell is just literally that shot.
Glad you said apparently.
Yeah,
I really like the idea you've gone, oh, well, it's time to perform an autopsy, and then they just pull out a little rolled up £20 note, and they're just like,
yeah, no, guys, just to get through this, you just need that one kick. Okay, that's all I could think about. I was like, what? And I was like, no, it's like I don't know what it is, but it's like it's supposed to be like antibacterial healthy stuff. I don't know what it is.
I think it's basically it's like the equivalent, I think, of very strong Vicks. Basically, just having a very strong smell to counteract the absolute atrocity that smell is.
Okay, I guess that could be it, but it's just like I can't imagine that's like going, okay, this is gonna be really bad. You got the Febreze? Yeah. Oh my eyes! Okay, let's get through it. That's what you describe. That's what you're describing to me currently.
I gotta say that if we were going to perform pathology and some guy came up with me with a Febreze, I'd be like, no, sorry, I will need some kind of chemical. Actually, not this. No, I've sprayed. No, this isn't a toilet.
As a little thing, growing up on the Mythbusters, they kind of tested that out. So basically, I think some people from the police helped them out. They said to get the equivalent, you get a dead pig, like you kill a pig, leave it in the back of a car in a hot day, and leave it for a few days, then check it out, and then you'll get what we get when we find dead bodies. It was just like, okay. And they did it, and they were just like, oh, crap.
Oh, Jesus.
It was very funny. But yeah.
On that note, who's not done their favourite scene yet?
Me.
Oh. Better fix that then, didn't you?
I think. Okay, I'll give two. The first one, when it pans down and you see the face of apparently Sergeant Pemberley, whatever. Like I said, I was just like, that ain't him. And then obviously a little bit, like a few minutes later, he's like, oh, that's why maybe they didn't realize at first he was wearing his face. Okay. Okay, cool. But okay. And then again, like I said, before the end scene where he's like, oh yeah, I'm just having an old colleague for dinner. Yeah. Yeah, like Alec, I said to the rest of the side, it was like the first time around, I didn't realize what he meant, and then I replayed it in my head when I saw Thingy get off the plane. I was like, wait, he said half for dinner, not have him over for dinner.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah.
Where that ending shot just lasted for a bit long while, right? For of that like scene of them like walking into the distance. But it kept going off that scene where it was like, didn't have to play like faded to black already? Just like, why are they just filming this? It's just like wasting film. I feel like there's no need for that.
Good critics, though. It's
If we have to ever give like an example of you being fucking adorable, that's gonna be my one. That's just beautiful. Oh, I can't believe you're just like, I'm having him over.
Yes.
Right. Who else got one?
Just me.
Okay.
Let's go.
I think it's like Rob mentioned, is that well, it's more like the lead up to Hannibal's escape. I think that was a masterclass of tension and intrigue and horror of what Vector is capable of. Just how he manages to take down the guards so casually when he's just listening to his music, and that you don't see him what he does to them afterwards until you come back with the cop's point of view. You see what the handiwork he has done. Tension that builds to about where is Hannibal. See, it just builds to a crescendo, and he is in the ambulance. The elevator was not at all, and you can't hear me very well.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know if that's my headphones or you were cutting out. I didn't want to say
It's
anything.
my headphones aren't very good, and my connection here is rubbish.
Oh, sorry, Ben.
But you know the
Yeah.
scene I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that's why it's good.
Okay. But there's one question: how did he actually get that pen down his gullet? Right? Because I cannot imagine just doing that. Right? Then afterwards he was.
So, wait. Are you asking how he got the pen, or are you asking how he swallowed the pen?
Well, I mean, I know he got the pen from the psychiatrist doctor from like the main. But I was like, did he? We didn't actually see him actually like swallow the pen or anything. But I was thinking, damn, how the fuck did he? Yeah, damn, that's
Wait, hold on. Did you just think he got it from Dr. Chilton and didn't ask any questions after that?
No, he did. I mean, it's just like I can't imagine. Like, no, I mean, I feel like there is a scene that's not shown of him swallowing the pen. I'm just saying to swallow a whole fucking pen is quite. That's quite a thing, right?
Do you think an orderly just held him on the little thing and then he just like lowered him down so he could swallow it and then go, yeah, I've got it. He's like, fair. He just pulls him back up.
No, but like you get what I mean, right? The scene, I understand like the build up of the scene and him purposely leaving that picture of Clarice with the lamb, which was really well done, by the way. I must say that picture's very well drawn. Credit to that artist. And it's like, please find the picture. It's like, all right, let's put it over there. Let's wrap up the painting and put it aside. And it's like, okay, you're happy now, Mr. Dr. Lexa? Sorry. And it's like, oh shit. When that handcuff first lands on his arm, and it's like everything went the shit there, the music and everything is great.
Yeah. So I think that it's implied he got the pen and the part of the pen he needed from Barney. He makes eye contact with when Dr. Chilton's in his cell. Dr. Chilton leaves the pen behind. Hannibal and Barney exchange like a look, and then he whispers his name and he says, Barney. And then we come away. And I think it's implied that Barney takes the pen because Dr. Chilton is going, okay. He's not thinking Barney's going to do anything. He's thinking Barney's on his side. So he leaves the pen. Barney picks it up, gives Hannibal the part that he needs to get out of the handcuffs. I think that's what's implied there.
But I guess the question is, why would Barney help him?
Well, I think it's implied there because you see like Hannibal is able to like talk someone into suicide.
Oh right, yeah, that's that's from the other things, right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's also the little part where Barney turns the lights on and he thanks him. Like, it's just little things where like Barney's there a lot. Hannibal has like a relationship with him in a fashion, so I think it's implied he's kind of turned Barney around to him. Like, it's not something that's ever like explicitly made anything of, but I think that's why that line is there.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that. It just seems. Oh, I know, because he's been with Barney for a good few years, and he's slowly worked. Yeah, that could actually really make sense in such a horrendous way.
Yeah, it's not something I feel like needs explaining necessarily, but I think like it is something that is there. So
Fair enough. Right.
Yeah. Humphrey is a fucking corpse right now. You're all right.
Yes, I am fine.
Did you get your tattoo?
I think that's
No,
I'll be back in a minute.
that was brilliant. Just like a low humming. No.
Even just as Humphrey alive, and Pat went, huh?
no.
Maybe that's a sign we should move on to Zodiac.
Oh no! I feel like, well, okay, we have to get to it eventually.
You haven't scored it yet, Simon.
Have I not? I'll do it up to pull. Don't worry.
Well, Emmanuel's not finished watching it yet, so
Yeah, that's true.
He's only got 2 hours left.
ah no. It's only a 1,700-hour film.
So do you guys like cut the video and like stop the video and reset it, or do we just continue going on?
Yeah, no, I'll cut it now if everyone's ready.
No,
Yeah, I feel, yeah, cut it for now.
Oops.